Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats live with Chris and Gini. This scarecrow is her. That is Gini. Is that a scarecrow?
Why is it showing like that there? That's funny.
Hey, Stephanie's on. Matt Hayes is watching. Ron, hi Ron. Good evening.
It's frozen. Shoot.
Nah, are we frozen? I think we're good.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to
There we go.
Yeah, we're great. Okay.
Hello, Sandra.
Alex, hi. Carla, hello.
Janie. All right.
So we started a couple of minutes early. We're going to let everyone get on. But thanks for being here. Diane's on, Elizabeth, Letitia, and 3 other people are watching. Wow, there's a lot of people watching. Ron Gizmo's good. He's over here minding his own business for now.
So I know you guys saw my post on Gizmo's losing his hearing because I was like sad. We took him to the doctor and he had some sort of yeast and bacteria that they lasered and he's got to take medicine, but he still seems a little stubborn like his dad. Anyway.
Maybe.
Hello everybody. Look at everybody getting on. Okay guys, don't forget to share. Tell your friends to like and follow. We're trying to get to 10,000 at least by the end of the year.
Yep.
Those that are just watching, that are just regular non-federal folks, tell a friend, tell a federal employee about us, and help them because you never know when they need help. Hello from Virginia, Louisiana. Let us know where you're watching from.
Hey, Jerry. Tammy.
What city and state. And also, hello, Jeannie, love the hat. You do? Isn't it cute?
Tammy loves your hat.
It's like a little bandana.
Yep.
So that you guys know before we start. Hello, Nancy. We're not going to be on next week. We're going to have a visit with attorney Eric Blowers. And we're going to go hang out with him for a couple days. So we won't be on Wednesday night chat unless he doesn't come. Then we'll definitely do Wednesday night chat.
Yeah.
So, Greensville, South Carolina, Atlanta. Yeah, he's doing good, Ron. Gizmo's doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone else, tell us where you're at. It's really good to see where people are from. Wisconsin. I like that.
If you're new, I'm reading my coconut for my coconut water.
Delaware.
If you're new, let us know that you're a new
Virginia.
person.
Yeah.
And what agency you work with. Virginia, good old Delaware, Denver, Colorado,
Hey, Sandra.
Ocala,
JJ.
Summerfield, Florida. Nice. These are new.
Everyone's...
Zach, you're new. Zach.
Welcome,
I'm
Zach.
Jeannie, this is Chris, and we're a husband and wife duo.
It's mostly just her.
Yeah. That we educate federal employees nationwide, all agencies, all different unions. We do training for federal employees when they get injured on the job with OWCP. And Salt Lake City, Utah. Woo! I'm coming home next month, Rebecca.
We have Fort Worth, Texas, too.
That's not anything compared to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Carla,
I'm
no
from
offense.
Pleasant Grove, so that you know. Anyways, so this is what we do. So this week we have 2 topics we're going to discuss because everybody keeps asking every week, no matter what. When do we file a CA1? When do we file a CA2? How to, and also a CA2A. When does that come into play? And what forms are needed to file a CA1? Chicago, Washington. Wow, you guys are all over. This is great. So while Chris starts going over the CA1, remember you can find all the information on the book. Those of you that got the book, let's see some hearts. BOP, Kentucky. So if you got the book, let's see some hearts and tell your friends about it. Don't forget Christmas is coming and you need to get a book for a friend. This is a great, perfect present for somebody that works within the federal government as a secret Santa, or just as a nice gift to say, hey, don't get screwed.
And volume 2 will be out soon. Definitely in time for December.
Oh, look at all the hearts.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everyone that got the book. It's very humbling. I hope you found it helpful. So far, I've gotten nothing but good reviews, so I'm really happy about that. So the rest of you, go ahead and check it out. If you're interested, at breakingowcp.com is how you find the book. Someone's going to ask, how do I find the book? It's breakingowcp.com.
This message just got me chills. It's from Kara Henderson replying to Debbie saying, because Debbie asked how Kara was doing, and Kara says, sore but okay, hoping to get back to work in the middle of next month. These peeps I went through for my case, lifesavers. Well, that is so sweet.
Thank you for saying that.
Okay, so while Chris starts going over, we're going to go over the CA1, CA2, CA2A, and what forms, other papers you may need, like the CA17 and 16 when you file your form. So take note, if I don't answer your message right now, let Chris go through the CA1 and then ask your questions, okay? Yes, everyone is looking forward to Chris's second book, and he has been writing it. Oh, you like my hat, John? Yeah, shout out to John, because he likes my hat.
Don't encourage this.
All right.
John, what are you doing to me, man?
John, give me hearts for my hat. John is my buddy. Anyways, let's start with the CA1, and don't forget to share, because this information is number one important information, especially when getting hurt on the job, whether it was in the last 3 years, 30 days, 90 days, whatever. Pay attention, and then we'll cover the CA1 and CA2A. CA2 and CA2A.
I was like, what am I doing
I know.
first?
All right, hit it.
So I'm going to do CA1 first because 1 comes before 2. So we'll go chronological. A CA1 is a form that you fill out when you have an injury that happens in a single work shift. So if you sprained your ankle today, if you twisted your knee today, if you felt a pop in your back today by lifting something, if you got in a car wreck today while on the job, all those accidents, all those injuries that happen today in a single work shift are reported by filling out a form CA1, a notice of traumatic injury. What happens though is you don't report. Hopefully not you, but too many people don't report. They don't report because they don't know how. They don't report because they're scared to. They don't report because somebody, unfortunately, often a supervisor, encourages them not to. And so the first thing about all these forms that I want to, if I can't get anything else across to you tonight, let's get this across. You've got to report. When you don't report your injuries, you are hurting yourself financially. You're losing your benefits. It's like a willful forfeiture of benefits, and I don't want you to do that because federal workers' comp benefits are spectacular when you can access them. So the CA1 is for the injury that happens in a single shift. How do you get the CA1? You tell your supervisor you want it. Okay? Simple as that. You go request it, and they are required by law to give it to you. Even if they don't like it, even if they think that you're faking it, even if they don't think you're hurt very bad, they don't have a medical license, so that opinion's irrelevant. But you have to get it from your supervisor. And in fact, if you look at a form CA10, it's called What a Federal Employee Should Do when Injured at Work. The first thing it says is report to your supervisor as soon as possible. All of you that watch and have followed me and that read the book know that as soon as possible means now, because now is the soonest possible time. So report immediately, right away, so you don't lose benefits. And there are benefits that are critically important that you don't want to lose. You have 3 years to report your injury. So one of the things people don't know is that they have tons of time to report an injury. I hear people all the time that say, well, I didn't get my injury reported in the required 3 days or required 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever, okay, or 30 days. Well, none of those things are a thing, okay? You have 3 years to report your injury. And so that's another thing. People don't report because they think they lost or they ran over their deadline. They can no longer report. It's almost never the case. You almost always have time remaining because it's 3 years is the window. If they ask you what took you so long, I didn't know. You just tell them the truth. I didn't know. But here I am, and the rule says I have 3 years. So that's the CA1. I'm sure that everyone's going to have a lot of questions on it. But if I can't get anything else across, I want to get across that you have to report. It's critically important for you. And that the supervisor has to give you the form, and they have to fill it out. They have to give you copies of everything. They like to not give you copies of everything, but they have to. It's in the Code of Federal Regulations that they have to. And so demand it. And if you have a hard time, take a steward with you. I love taking stewards. I think that's the way to go. I've never personally reported an injury and taken a steward, but hypothetically, if I reported an injury, I would take a steward. Even better, I'd like to be one of the stewards and take myself. So,
You gonna go work for
if I were going to do
federal
it,
government?
no, if I were going to do it, that's what I would do.
Let's see.
So I could be I can maximally help myself because I'd be the steward as well.
Okay, let's see. Will you ever do closed caption for the hearing impaired? Okay, so yes, and you know what? I have to set a reminder for myself that the thing is, once we shut down, because it doesn't we can't put it right now. I think only if you like mute yourself and put the volume down, then the words will pop up. But I will definitely go ahead and make that automatic as of tonight, because we used to do it for a bunch of people.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that, obviously.
But we
So
definitely
sorry about
will.
that.
So Sandra, please, just send me a reminder if you don't see it on, but I'll do it right after.
Yeah. So what are they asking about the CA1? Let's get a
Kara,
conversation
so
going.
happy Genie types with one finger. I know. Can you believe I failed typing 3 times in high school? Yeah, I just didn't get it.
All of my friends made fun of me because I took typing and I think I probably was the fastest typist. Is that how you say it? Typist? Typer? Typist?
Typologist?
I don't know. I can freaking type. I can type.
Josephine LaRue said, how do we get the book? So I'm going to pin it also down below, but you can go to www.breakingowcp.com. The book is $14.95. We ship it out next day by 3 p.m. and it's free shipping. Ding. I need one of those little stars so when I go ding, it pops up. Okay. All right. Nikita Joyner says CA1 also allows your medical information to be released to DOL.
Well, yeah. Look, what you write on the CA1 goes, and the CA2 and 2A, it goes to the claims examiner, Department of Labor, as well as the medical reports that the doctors write. All of this stuff goes in. In fact, everything that a doctor or a therapist does, including chiropractic, all of them, every service they provide to you has documentation that goes to Department of Labor. So actually, DOL sees every bit of your health information, but they're paying the bills, so that's just how it goes.
Did you already go over the CA17, what goes along with the CA1?
Oh, no.
Okay, so not only do you have to get a CA1, you have to get 2 more forms. And whenever I text you guys or message you guys, I always say, when did you get the injury? I'll listen. And if it's a CA1, I always tell you to get what 2 forms?
I don't know. Which 2 forms?
A CA16 and a CA17.
I taught her well.
And why is that? Go, you do that.
Okay. So the CA16 you can only get for a CA1 injury. You can't have one for a CA2. That's just the rule. So you get a CA16 as long as you report within 7 days, and you're going to report immediately. And the CA16 pays your medical bills for the first 60 days, even if your claim is never approved. So it's a great deal to have it. You definitely want to get it. The CA16 is yours by law as long as you report on time. And because you heard me tonight, you will report on time. You report right away. You gonna play with that hat all night?
No, just trying to.
It's not distracting at all.
So don't look at me.
Anyways, the CA16 pays your medical bills. I used to say that the CA16 pays all your bills for 60 days, and somebody at a conference once said, even my car payment? So no, not those. Just your medical bills. That's its whole purpose. The CA17, and by the way, that's super important because your claim's not accepted. You're not going to find a doctor probably until Federal Injury Centers is in your area who understands OWCP or will accept it. And so that means you need some form of payment so they don't make you use your health insurance and, your cash or credit card. So get a CA16 because it covers all those bills. The CA17 is what the doctor uses to write restrictions or take you off of work if that's needed. And, I hope it's not. I hope that your injury is not so severe that you can't go to work. But if you can't, the CA17 is how the supervisor knows that you are either going to be off of work or that you need restrictions. So the 17 is important. You have to get that from the supervisor. And in fact, the CA1, the 2, the 16, and the 17 all have to come from your supervisor. All of them. So go ahead and, because you're going to report, and when you report, you get the forms. That's how that works.
So that's what you have to get and should get when you file your CA1s. All right, John said, absolutely, I got the cold shoulder from management for filling out our CA1 right away for one of my officers. However, being a former president, they knew better to approach me as to why. I'll always take care of my officers no matter what. He's would
Yeah.
say.
Hey, I love that.
John said typerist.
Typerist? That's how it is. Typerist. I'm a good typerist.
Nikita said they shouldn't be releasing your information without your permission. Yes.
Yeah, okay. But the claims examiner gets everything. And that's just the rule. So it's just inherent in the system. That's just how it is.
Kara says, does a CA1 or CA2 have to be filled out electronically?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be filled out electronically, but some agencies do. And when it is, that's fine. But be sure you get a printout of it.
Yeah, like at the VA,
Yeah.
we know that because the President Tish told us that their people have to go through the computer. And sometimes you guys will call, and I'm like, oh, well, I can't see your screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but what you could do is either if you have the book or you get on your phone and go to our app, like if you get confused, you can go to the app and it'll tell you and show you the video or our website about how to fill out a CA1 if you want to correctly do it.
Yeah, and she mentioned the app. We have an app that's the Federal Injury Centers app. Man, there we go. Struggling here. Federal Injury Centers. And if you go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and type in Federal Injury Centers, you'll find our app. Download it, register, and there's a lot of helpful stuff there. So I hope you'll get that.
Katie said, I've been waiting about 5 months for workers' comp to approve so I can start physical therapy for my back, but I still work every day, no restrictions.
So your doctor or therapist is making you wait for your case to be approved before they treat you? Because if I heard that right, that sounds awful to me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a doctor or a PT, so I'm not licensed, but I still have an opinion about it. And in my opinion, that's awful. In our offices, everyone gets started with whatever treatment the doctor thinks is needed right away. If the case is not accepted for the next 6 months, the doctor works for free for 6 months. That's how it goes. But waiting, I mean, it just sounds like that could be bad for your health. I don't know. I'd talk to my doctor.
That is bad for your health, guys.
I'd want to get better faster.
BKRV said, is there a way to contact the CE's supervisor?
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask. When you call the claims examiner at the district office that you're calling, ask for the supervisor. It happens. I tell people all the time to ask for the supervisor.
Teresa says, what would be done to a supervisor who shares your info with other employees?
Well,
file a grievance?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend that you contact your union, you file a grievance. I don't know if that's an EEO claim. That's something that you probably have to call and ask.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is. But I know for sure that the best way for me to say this is I know union people who have grieved that because it happens. So go talk to your union.
So Katie says, no, I could pay out of pocket, but choose not to fight that battle to try to get the money back.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a tough scenario, but that's what we're talking about. When you don't have a CA-16 and your case isn't accepted and you start making health decisions based on money. And I talk extensively about this problem in the book because to me it's one of the biggest problems. Like not getting a CA-16, some people think that's a small thing. To me, that's a huge thing. It's 60 days worth of health care that you don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal. So I'm sorry that's happening to you. I really, really am. I'm interested in where you're located. Maybe we can help you with that.
Nikita said the system at DOL is not set up to speak with the supervisor anymore. Oh, okay. Jerry said, Eric Blowers came through big time for me today. He's not letting OWCP bully or scare me. He fights so hard for his clients. Yes, he does. And
Eric's a bad man. We're very happy with him.
Yeah, we give him everybody because he's that good.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. All right, so let's go over the CA2 and what you need for the CA2. Now, with the CA2, unfortunately, you don't get a CA-16. Hit it.
That's just how it goes. Now, a second ago, I said that it originates with the supervisor, and it does. But you can go to the doctor first if you're not sure if it's work-related, what's going on. This happens to a lot of people. They have a condition that builds up over time, and a CA2 is for reporting any injury that develops over 2 or more shifts, okay? So 2 or more shifts, days, 2 or more weeks, 2 or more months, 2 or more years, okay? Not a single shift. It's something that happens not in a single shift. And but a lot of people were unsure if what's going on was work-related because, you're not a doctor and maybe you don't know. So they go to the doctor and the doctor will ask some probing questions like, is your knee hurts. Did you play basketball? No. Okay, so you didn't play basketball.
Right.
Do you rock climb? No. Okay. What do you do all day? Well, I walk 10 miles a day. I'm a letter carrier. Well, did you ever consider that your knee might be work-related? Your doctor can ask the questions that get to the final answer that it is a work-related condition. If you don't need that because you know for sure that you walk 10 miles a day as a letter carrier and your knee is work-related, then you just fill out your form and take it to the doctor. But you have to be certain that what's going on is work-related before you fill it out. You don't want to get that wrong. If it's not, then use your health insurance. But if it developed over time and it is work-related, then you need to fill out a CA2 form and take that to your doctor, at which point the doctor will write a narrative report explaining how it's related to work, and then that'll all go in to get your claim accepted. You can't have a CA16 with that because they assume you've been working with this already, so it's not an emergency. And your doctor can a lot of times write restrictions to keep you at work, but without the CA16, you're not going to have any way to pay your bills until the claim's accepted. And so you need a doctor who's willing to take you as a patient and not bill you out of your pocket. And those are hard to find. I mean, honestly, they really are hard to find. The bylaws of our company says that any patient that comes with an OWCP claim that's legitimate, obviously it's a legit claim, we never bill them out of their pocket. No matter what, even if the claim never gets accepted, ever, we still don't collect money from the patient. Ever, no matter what, we've never taken a penny. But you know what? That's a risk that a lot of doctors won't take. But for us, it's not a risk at all because we get our claims accepted.
And to touch on that just a little, and we tell you guys this all the time, if you go to a place and they're asking for money up front and telling you they're going to debit your checking every month, call us. We'll try to help you find a doctor. But I mean,
there's no guarantees on that.
Yeah.
And we're not a referral service. We don't charge. We don't charge for referrals. We don't accept money from doctors for referrals. Nothing like that, okay? We are the last group on earth that would ever take $1 from you for anything, including referrals. But if we know somebody, we're happy to tell you that we know somebody, but that's still your choice. We'll give you the number, and you decide if you want to call.
Yeah.
And I don't even need to know if you called. Doesn't matter to me. My job is to do the best I can at helping you, even if that means we don't send you to our office. Send you someplace else.
Betty Yip said, I didn't know about the CA16. I was told I needed to wait for my claim to be accepted or denied, and that management has 10 days to submit my CA1 to DOL.
Well, the 10 days part is the only true thing that I heard there. They do have 10 days to submit to DOL. But the CA16 is part of the rules. The Code of Federal Regulations not only says that they are required to give it to you when you report within 7 days, but it goes farther. Like letter B of the code says that they have 4 hours to give it to you. It doesn't say they have 4 hours to give it to you if it's a legitimate injury or if they agree with it or if they want to. It says they have 4 hours. So you get it, period. You always get it, no matter what. So get a CA16. I'm sorry that happened to you. You're like a lot of people, and that's why there's a whole chapter in this book about CA16 and another whole chapter in the book just about laws and rules that are easy to understand so that you don't have that problem. And just incidentally, on the CA16, on my website, Breaking OWCP, there's a tab called Free Downloads, and one of the forms in there is a form to help you get a CA16. So for those of you that are going to have a need for that, take a look at that form and grab it, because I don't want you to not get it.
All right. So that was sorry, I was having him heard something. So that was about the CA2. Now, a lot of you want to know about the CA2A and when does that come into play And another thing I'll have him touch on is when you have to add a diagnosis onto your claim, because a lot of you guys were asking that.
Okay, and just real quick, can everybody hit the share button, please? Just hit share. You're on this page already. If you'll just go down below and hit share, that'll let people in your newsfeed see that you're watching this, and if it's relevant to them, they'll have an opportunity to see it too. We're just trying to get as many people as possible to get the help and get this information. So if you would share, that'd be really great, and your friends will appreciate it. Tell them I said so. All right, CA2A. A CA2A is called a notice of recurrence. This is for any injury or condition that was previously accepted, whether it was a CA1 or a CA2, but the claim was accepted, okay? And at some point you got better, you were back to work, and then later on there was a recurrence of that condition. It comes back, right? Like you had knee injury and then you end up with knee pain. Later on it comes back. And so the CA2A is just a notice to say, hey, this thing that I had before, it's back. But what I tell people is you're not a doctor any more than I am, and you don't know for sure if it's a recurrence. What if it's something new? And you fill out a recurrence, but it was something new. That's not good for you. So I recommend that you go see a doctor first and let the doctor evaluate what's going on and then decide, is it a new CA1, a new CA2, or is it indeed a recurrence?
Gizmo.
Okay. So don't just instantly go fill out a CA2A because it may not be. Okay. It really legitimately could be a new injury, and you want to know that for sure so that you fill out the correct forms.
Jules Brown said, I was diagnosed with a contusion on my wrist after a heavy box of mail fell onto my wrist. After a year of physical therapy for a contusion, I was recommended to get a test where I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel. Ouch.
Okay. What was the question?
No.
Oh,
she was just saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. And carpal tunnel is a common CA2 condition, by the way. Maybe one of the most common, depending on your craft and your agency.
Okay, so we went over the CA1 and the CA16 and 17 that goes along with that. We went over the CA2 and letting you know that the CA2, you cannot get a CA16, but also get a CA17 on that. And then we went over a CA2A. And now discuss about the diagnosis.
Yeah, a lot of
expansion.
people, they're called diagnosis expansions. A few years ago, they called them upgrades. They changed the terminology to expansion. I'm a little distracted because we have a Shih Tzu who digs.
He's digging for gold.
But our dog lays on his side and digs sideways. I don't know why he does this.
I'll have to post that.
It's constantly.
You'll crack up seeing it.
He's constantly digging sideways.
But he hasn't found the gold yet because he even tries it on the tile.
I think he's trying to go to China.
He's not going to China. No.
Anyways. It's very distracting. You'll be watching TV and you hear scratch, 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 and it's always like right next to my ear. So recurrence. No. Expansions. Diagnosis expansions. We hear a lot of times people saying, I had this injury, but the diagnosis isn't approved. Or I'm trying to get surgery, but they're denying my surgery. Or I'm trying to get whatever they're trying to get, and DOL is denying it. Well, almost always, there's a really good chance it's because your diagnosis is wrong or not severe enough. Not that we want you to be hurt more severely. But let's say you have a knee sprain, okay? A knee sprain generally is not surgical, okay? It'll heal. And so if your doctor requested surgery and your approved condition is knee sprain, they're going to deny it. However, if you had an MRI and it showed a ligament tear and your doctor requested surgery, if the ligament tear was the approved condition, they will automatically approve surgery. And so what your doctor has to do is write a report called a diagnosis expansion report. And that notifies the claims examiner that there's another diagnosis here or a more severe diagnosis. And if you don't add all the correct conditions, then you're going to be shortchanged on treatment. You'll be shortchanged on time off. They'll at some point say, why are you still off of work with just a strain? That should have resolved already, right? When all along you had an MRI showing a tear and you couldn't get surgery, so now you're kind of stuck. So you got to make sure the correct diagnosis is on your claim, because the diagnosis drives everything. Every decision that's made is made based on the diagnosis. Everything. Whether you're going to be off of work, whether you're going to get surgery, how long you're going to be off of work, the amount of treatment that you need. Everything is dependent on the diagnosis. Okay, so if you have the wrong diagnosis or a too low of a level of a diagnosis, then you have to get an expansion. Do you hear this? He's over here now. Okay. Goodness. All right, what are the other questions?
All right. So those of you that asked about the book and how to contact us, I just pinned the comment right there. Do you see it? Okay. Kara Henderson wants to know.
Oh, real quick, you're not required to buy my book. Okay, you can just come here and listen and learn. A lot of people just really love it, and that's why I wrote the book, and that's why we talk about it. But obviously, you're here. Buy it or don't buy it, but it is really helpful.
Anthony Reyes says, LOL, our dog does that also.
It's unreal.
I see it all the time on the Shih Tzu group on Facebook, and I crack up.
You know where he never digs? In the yard, ever. He doesn't dig outside.
He's not a yard dog.
He doesn't dig outside at all. Ever. Just carpet and tile. He likes to dig on the tile.
Kara Henderson says, I want to know why a CA-17 can be rejected if the case isn't approved.
Well, the CA-17 is taking off of work where you're going to get paid to be off of work. And a supervisor will often say, your case isn't approved, so we don't have to accept this. I think it's a jerk move, and they should accept it. But there's another form called an OWCP 5C that your doctor can fill out to give to your supervisor to indicate that there's a problem. I think you need to fill one of the two out and turn them in, because you need your supervisor to be aware of what's going on with you, so you don't get hurt worse.
Kara also said, I was given additional restrictions on my expansion. I'm trying to file on an approved case. DOL denied my restrictions because the expansion isn't approved.
That's right. Yeah, you got to get that approved. And oftentimes, your doctor will write a subpar narrative expansion report, and you'll get that denied. You'll have to read the denial and have the doctor fix it and do a reconsideration. Kim
Walsh said, is there a special form for the diagnosis expansion?
There's not. It's a narrative report written by your doctor and turned into DOL.
Cheryl McCulley said, how do you deal with an on-the-job injury that has multiple issues? DOL accepted one, but doctors and DOL refused to address the second injury. That's a great question.
Yeah, well, the second injury, let's say you had 5 injuries, God forbid, that all happened from the same single incident. A car wreck comes to mind, especially for like a letter carrier driving an LLV. Those things seem so unprotected, just by the way. Anyways, I'm pulling for you, driving those things around, especially in Florida where everyone's crazy on the road. They're more crazy when they get behind the wheel, and you have to be able to use your middle finger.
Yeah, it's like beep.
Yeah, you got to be able to do that. But anyways, I'm off topic. Let's say that you're in that car wreck. That's a single incident. It would require one CA1 form. But you could have 5 different injuries. It could be a neck, a shoulder, and a back, and a knee. God forbid, but it could be. And, your doctor is able to get the neck and the back approved, but the shoulder and knee still aren't approved. And now we're right back to needing a diagnosis expansion. The doctor has to write that expansion report explaining why the knee and the shoulder needed to be approved in the first place. And that happens, okay? There's lots of instances like that. You're not alone. Just go back to your doctor and tell them to write a better narrative.
Anthony Reyes said, can you explain the OWCP 5C if you don't mind?
Yeah, the 5C is a form only to be filled out by the doctor. It's not for you to fill out, not for the supervisor to fill out. And it communicates to whoever wants to read it what your restrictions are, what your current status is as far as your physical abilities and stuff. And so you turn that in so the supervisor can see what's going on. It's sort of a way for the doctor to communicate your health status to your supervisor. Your supervisor is allowed to get the 5C, the CA-17, and the CA-20. And usually upon request, they can get those. They can request you to bring one in anytime they want to. And that's what those forms are for, to communicate your status to management, to whoever needs it. Not just management. It could be a claims examiner, supervisor, nurse case manager, whoever needs it.
Anthony also said, so can I get paid for being out without my claim being approved or using my time until it gets approved or denied, because obviously something is wrong?
Yeah, I'm writing a lot about this right now. Without your claim being approved, there's no way for you to be paid unless you use your sick and annual leave. Now, you can use your sick and annual leave and, say, take FMLA. And Family Medical Leave Act will protect your job the way a CA-17 protects your job when your case is accepted. So you just have to use other means and then kick your doctor in the butt and make him do a better job to get your claim accepted.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
John said, what types of restrictions for TSA, or are all these forms and claim requests fed wide? TSA, it's its own animal, as I've learned.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the standard CA forms and the OWCP 5C forms, those are across all agencies. TSA may have special forms that I'm not aware of, but for sure the forms that I'm talking about apply to you too at TSA.
Yeah, John, because even we have a bunch of Tampa TSA people that are in our Clearwater office.
Yeah.
And so far they haven't asked us for anything different. And when they've called and spoken to me, at least, I've told them what forms to get. And we've met with the local president there and Tampa TSA. So she was asking us. So it is the same forms, and this is nationwide. So it doesn't matter what city and state you're in, and if you live in California and you move and you come to Florida, you can still be seen, and it transfers because it's federal.
But if your agency happens to have another form they want you to fill out as well, I'm of the opinion that it's the supervisor's responsibility to get that to you and not yours to know about it. It's their job to tell you about it.
Jules Brown said, does a diagnosis expansion cover a new injury in my hip for overcompensating due to my accepted injury, which was my foot?
Okay, so that's a whole different thing. What she's saying is, you know, I've got this one injury, and as a result of the one injury, I've got this other thing that started happening now. And if I didn't have the other injury, this other thing wouldn't have started happening. That's called a consequential condition or a consequential injury. And your doctor there has got to write a report called consequential injury report, explaining how this new thing would not have happened but for the old injury. Okay, and then what they'll do is they can add this new thing that's going on to the accepted condition. And now you have two body parts that are approved to be treated. This is very common. It happens a lot. Like somebody will have a right knee problem and end up with a left knee problem. Or they'll have a hip issue or a back issue that they're limping around with, and next thing you know, the ankle's hurt. It happens all the time. Or somebody I read today had one terribly bad shoulder and was overcompensating with the other arm and ended up blowing out the other shoulder. It happens.
Cheryl McCulley says, can you explain why an accepted case with DOL would deny all CA7 for compensation? Compensation's compensation. Oh.
Can you explain why an accepted case with DOL would deny CA7 for compensation? Okay, so they'll deny it. This is right back to the diagnosis expansion. If your condition is approved condition is, say, a strain, DOL is going to say, well, why the heck are you off of work? Go to work. It's a strain. I'm sure whatever restrictions that your doctor needs, we can accommodate, right? And so they won't pay you to be off of work if you can work. And so you need a disability narrative from your doctor explaining why you can't work. You attach that to your CA7 along with CA17s if they exist, CA20 that the doctor fills out. And if you're off because you're going to medical appointments or something, get a printout of the appointments. But to answer this question, a disability narrative report by your doctor will explain why you have to be off of work. Send that in with your CA7 and see what happens.
And she also said DOL has denied all pay for me nearly 9 months, even with narratives.
Yeah, so I'd be interested in reading the denial letters, which, by the way, you can send them to us and I'll be happy to look at it. Because in the denial letter, it'll explain exactly why you're not getting paid, and probably we can fix it if it's a fixable issue.
Yeah, and John, you said the only forms you've ever had to fill was a CA1 and CA2. So don't forget on the CA1, give your employees, be the good guy and give the employees a CA16 as well on a CA1, and the CA17 when you're filling out both CA1 or CA2. So be the good guy in that, because he's a good guy.
John a union president?
He was. Now he's a supervisor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's see. I want to look at this.
Great.
All right, so Jerry said, Sherry, I went through this for a year and a half of no pay, hired attorney Eric Blowers, and got my money back. I'm so sorry you're going through that. And I mean, like, when we tell you to go see, call Eric, please know that we're not like getting any referrals or anything.
Like, hey,
kicked
we're not
back.
we're not a referral service. We don't get money for that.
We only refer to him because we know he does an amazing job, and he says what he does.
He's a straight up killer in
Yeah.
OWCP.
Jean said, if a person has an old injury before joining the company and has no issues after working for several years, can this be occupational because your job aggravated it?
Yeah. Anything that's pre-existing, like you had it before you started the job, that is aggravated, accelerated, worsened, or in any way triggered as a result of the job, will be covered by OWCP. As long as the doctor can write a good narrative.
Yeah.
But yeah, pre-existing issues are covered if the job worsens them in some way.
All right. Anybody else with any other questions? So again, those of you that are hopping on, coming in and off, on and off, we discussed a CA1. When you file it, why at that point you have to file a CA1. Don't forget, always, and a lot of you always forget this, and we try to tell you guys all the time. When you file a CA1, you have to get a CA16.
Yeah.
Push for it.
Don't let them deny you. Report your injuries within 7 days or today, and tell them that you have 4 hours to get the CA16. Go to my website, breakingowcp.com, and download the free form for CA16s and show that to your supervisor. You guys will get a kick out of it because it has the time you requested it and the time you received it. And I would hope that that time is less than 4 hours. Because if it's more than 4 hours, you probably have a grievance because they're supposed to give it to you right away.
Yeah, Jean said, thank you. I thought so. I would tell my members when I was a steward. Yeah, and we say this all the time. Those of you that are stewards, and those of you that are even supervisors and management watching here, because we have a few people that are supervisors and management. I mean, we are treating some supervisors as well and management. Just be nice to your employees. If you're nice to them and you don't give them a hassle about getting the paperwork, they won't have a hassle moving forward in the future with getting their, injury taken care of, because it starts from the management once they report it. So it all goes downhill. So, if you're steward, supervisor, management, get the book and learn about it. And even if you want personal
Hey, read the
training-
last chapter. It's all for you, supervisors.
Yeah, and even if you wanted a one-on-one training with us, with stewards or management or supervisors, let us know. We'll do it, because if we see that management and supervisors are like, hey, can we get trained? We know that what we're educating on, somebody's going to take it and put it to good use and help you guys. So don't forget that. Okay, Martha said, I've tried to change doctors and the claim examiner denies. What can I do?
So that's another form I have on my website, Breaking OWCP. There's a form for how to change treating doctors. None of these are official forms, okay? These are from my experience, my knowledge. I made a form that's helpful to you. So just know they're not official. But take a look at it, because it kind of will structure how you would write a letter to your claims examiner requesting, and see if that works. Also, find out from the claims examiner why they said no. What was the denial reason? Because it might make sense, and it may be something you can overcome as well.
Yeah. Leticia Smith said, do I have to pay back from my CA1, CA16 because it was denied because I had filed a CA2 instead? Supervisor said I had to pay back that money. What?
I don't even know what money you'd be paying back.
Yeah.
If you get a CA16 and it pays your healthcare bills that were work-related, you don't have to pay that back. The only thing you may ever have to pay back, and I've never had anybody have to do it, but in the rules it says if you get continuation of pay and your claim is ultimately denied, you could be at risk of having to pay that back. But you can appeal the claim, do a reconsideration, and you can do multiple reconsiderations 1 year apart each. Well, if your claim is still in process because you've appealed it, you don't owe the money back. But no, you don't have to pay back medical bills, which, by the way, medical bills are not the concern of your supervisor. Tell them to butt the heck out, okay?
Butt the heck out.
Butt the heck out. I'm using nice words tonight. The CA16 covers your bills, and you don't have to pay it back.
Cheryl said, got the book. It's amazing. And I shared the website to my colleagues to help them. See, that's what we like to hear, is that you guys are sharing the information, sharing the knowledge, the correct knowledge. And hey, remember, our videos are always on here. We never delete them, and they're always titled about what we say. A lot of you miss certain lives that we do, so just go back, click videos in our Wednesday night OWCP Chats Facebook page, and scroll down. We have videos in there, I think maybe like 3 years old now. Some of them are like 317,000 views. Some of them are 24,000 views. So we have people that constantly watch it.
Somebody said their coworker ordered 2 books and we haven't gotten them yet. I'm glad you said that. This is not, I would never bash USPS, but sometimes it's delayed. I've looked in there and it's been stuck in a a facility someplace. And, during COVID, things slowed down and we understand that. But recently, I was at fault. There was a couple of books that I got out late because I was out of town traveling on business. And so, but rest assured, if you place an order, all orders are out the door, okay? They're all in the mail. So it'll be there, I promise.
John said, I'm gonna get my local union 912 to reach out to you guys. I'm always tuned in. John, thanks. This is why you're my BFF.
And I want to say this too. So Gini was just saying that, tell a friend, basically, give a friend the book, tell a friend to come here. That's a theme in my second book. I'll give you a little sneak preview of it. The second book is called Breaking OWCP Volume 2, but the subtitle in it is You Are Not Alone. This is something that's been on my heart for quite a while, that I talk to people and people feel alone. They feel like they're the only person in the world that's ever experienced this, and they think they're being treated unfairly, and they are. But why is this happening to me? And so in my second book, You're Not Alone, I've got a chapter in there, and I'm still actually writing it, on the actual true stories of people that things that they've gone through, so I can teach the lessons from those stories. Because if you can learn their lessons, you don't have to repeat the problems. And by the way, if you have a story like that you'd like me to talk about in my book, email it to me, Chris@federalinjurycenters.com. I'd love to read your story. But it's a big theme in the book that you're not alone. And one of the things I'm talking about in there is how we've all got to make a bigger push to help somebody else, to tell somebody else about the rules. I'm writing a chapter on union stewards, on what stewards can do to help the members. I'm writing a chapter on supervisors, on what they can do to make your life easier versus making it harder. But I'm talking a lot in there about how you can help each other. Because I'm doing the most I can. If there's something else I can do, I'll do it. We're trying to find doctors for you. We're doing this free education for you. I've got a cheap, nearly free book and a second one coming. We teach live. If you want a Zoom meeting, we'll do a private Zoom meeting for you. We do everything we can. It's all free. I told you we've never taken $1 from anyone.
Or invite us. We'll come to your state.
Yeah, and when we travel, we travel at our own cost.
Yeah.
We don't ask for money from anybody. So we're doing the most we can, but you can do more because you all know more people than I know. I know you, but you know more people that I don't know yet. And so tell everybody. Let people know this is going on, because don't let them be alone. Because just like you're not alone, they feel like they are. And I'd like it if you would just share this information so they don't feel like they're alone.
So like we said, with all the COVID restrictions, and once you guys start going back to normal union meetings or whatever, whether it be Skype, Zoom, or in person, let me know. And we love to fly around and go to different states and meet new federal employees and meet everyone there. So it's pretty fun. We normally get a happy hour going, and we like to answer everybody's questions one-on-one and then meet with the group as well. So let us know. And
we're flying already. We've been able to get a few flights in over the last couple of months. I'm not scared of this thing at all. I have no...
Wear a mask.
And I'm not disrespecting. A lot of people have gotten sick, and too many people have died. I'm just saying I'm not scared of it. I will go anywhere, anytime. I hate the mask, but I'll put it on if they make me. So if you guys want us to come out, we're happy to do it. More than happy. But the bigger theme is you can help a lot of people just by telling them that we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we really appreciate if you do that. Let's all be in this thing together.
Yeah, again, there's no charge, because a lot of you would be like, how much do you guys charge for a Zoom meeting,
Nothing.
Skype meeting, or to even come out? And we tell everybody, no, there's no charge, because this is what we do. So
this is, it's funny. I didn't know that I was going to learn this topic. I had no idea I was going to become probably the nation's leading OWCP expert. I didn't know that was going to happen. Along the way, as I was learning this, I tried to quit that job 12 times where I was learning this. And
I didn't know him then.
I never quit. I would go to jobs, and I'm pretty cocky when it comes to my abilities and knowledge. Every job I applied to were like huge jobs that I was the only one qualified for, and I never got the job. I would leave these interviews going, there's no way I don't get this job, and then they never call me back, which is insane. All those people right now are like, I should have called him back.
Yeah, and now he's president and owner of Federal Interest
forget
Centers.
that. The point I'm making is, it's mysterious because all that time I could have gone and done something else. And I'm definitely qualified and capable to do other things. But I stuck here, and I'm so happy that I did because this is what I do. This is my calling. I didn't know this was going to be my calling. I had no idea. It's really, really rewarding to help all of the federal employees out there. It's incredible for me.
All right, Jamie said, if you need to go to a workers' comp appointment, what form do you need to get paid for taking off?
Well, if your claim's accepted, you need a CA7 and a CA7A. And for those of you that are like, how do I fill those out? If you go to the Federal Injury Center's website, we've got a videos tab. You can also see this on the app. But there's a video on how to fill out the CA7 and 7A. So take a look at that. It's like 15 minutes long, but totally worth your time.
Cheryl says, I can't express how much knowledge I've been able to get from your organization.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Management and local do not assist, not to be negative. We hear that.
I understand, and I don't think you're trying to be negative. You're just being honest, and those of you that follow know I love the truth, and that happens to be. That's just how it goes.
Jean said, this is all informative. Casey Larson said, I'm a supervisor. If an employee that gets hurt on the job, I always refer them to your videos. Very informative. Casey, you're supervisor of the year.
Casey, you're my new hero. You and John, okay?
Yeah, I know. This is why we tell people.
I really appreciate that. So
why we don't bash supervisors, because there's a lot of them that get injured too, and they go from being a carrier or whatever, or in the hospital, and then move up, and it's not their fault.
All right, so again, I love the truth. I bash supervisors all the time, but John and Casey, you're not on my list. You're on the good list. For sure you're on the good list. The thing is, like, unfortunately, and all of you know it, including John and Casey, they all know, there are too many supervisors who make it their point in life to hurt people when they get hurt.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes the most pain of an injury is not the pain of the injury, it's the process. And that process can be made so much better, so much easier, and completely painless if supervisors would get on board and just do the job that they're required to do. So those of you that are doing it, thank you so much that you're doing it.
Because we know a family member, two sisters, one's a carrier and one was in management, and her sister got injured. She told her no. She's not filling out her paperwork.
The supervisor's sister.
Yeah, remember that?
Anyways, yeah. So.
Okay. Cherokee said, my employer refuses to send in my info so I can get paid through DOL. My union said they can't help me with that. What do I do?
Your union can't help you? It's a clear violation, okay? All right, so they won't turn it in. Call OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA. Tell OSHA that you're hurt. OSHA has a list of employee rights. Number 6 on their list of rights is a right to report a work injury. And then OSHA also says that it is a crime, it's against the law, to prevent someone from exercising their rights, so from reporting an injury. And then the Code of Federal Regulations says that it's a crime, and the U.S. Code says it's a crime. So contact OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA. I'm not making this stuff up. It's all in the book, too. I cite exactly the law so that you can read it for yourself. But if someone doesn't turn in your forms, then they are effectively preventing you from getting help. And that's unacceptable because that can lead you to get hurt worse. So 1-800-321-OSHA. Tell them your story. I'm not suggesting that you call and make an accusation or anything like that. But tell them your story and ask if, do I have a valid complaint?
Yeah.
And find out if you have a valid complaint, because when you do, OSHA will take care of that.
And
if it's happening to you, it's happening to other of your coworkers.
Yeah.
And that's unacceptable because you can fix it and you can put a stop to it for everyone else.
We hear it all the time that people wind up not filing their claim because they're scared of what their supervisors will do. But look, you have 2 supervisors right on here tonight that said they help their
want you to file, yeah.
So
good supervisors want you to file.
Yeah.
And good unions, which is almost everybody, good union reps, presidents, will fight like hell and run through fire to help you. So make sure your union doesn't want to get involved. The ones that we know want to be involved.
Yeah, they're like, how could
So
we help?
I hope you're wrong on that one. I hope that they do want to help. But definitely call OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA.
Betty said, you guys are awesome. Thank you for all you do.
Betty, you're awesome. Thank you.
Jean says, I also tell people to fill out the form OWCP 957 for travel appointments.
Exactly. The 957 and the OWCP 915 are going to be highlighted in the next book.
Jules says, I work nights starting at 6. Will I get paid if I have an appointment for PT at 5 to 7, making an hour and more late for work because of travel time in my appointment?
Yeah, if your claim's accepted, you can be paid up to 4 hours of your work shift to go get medical attention or physical therapy.
4.
Up to 4 hours if your claim's accepted.
Yeah. John Parker said, got injured October 13th, informed supervisor and left route to ER. How long should it take me to get a CE for my case?
A claims examiner is going to be assigned pretty immediately. You know, your supervisor has 10 days to turn the forms in to deal well. You have a claims examiner pretty fast. I mean, I'd be surprised if in 2 weeks you didn't have one already.
Oh, Jamie said, thank you guys so much for what you do to help us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jamie. Tell your friends.
Cheryl said, amen, entirely too emotional. It's people's livelihood.
I couldn't agree more.
This is why we do this. We understand that this is people's livelihood. And when you're, like a lot of you, presidents, national, when you're not on the other end and we have to sit, any one of our team members have to sit on a phone call and hear someone say, I'm losing my home, they're coming to repossess my car, I can't put food on the table for my kids, or they're thinking suicidal. Do you know what that does to us? And this is the reason more why we help, because, and this is another reason why we're doing this franchise, because we understand you guys go through that, and we don't want anybody to go through that. When you guys say you can't put food on the table for your kids and your car or your home is going to be closing up shop, that's very bothersome to us. And I mean,
and it being bothersome to us is nothing because you're dealing with it. You're actually living it. But
I mean, I've seen Chris have tears in his eyes when he talked to people about their home being foreclosed. Or, you know, we hear from, you know, presidents that somebody committed suicide because they couldn't help their family member. You know, they couldn't get money and then they have nothing to do. It's really sad things that we hear. Yeah. And this is why we push every week for you guys to follow and like and watch and share this with all federal employees, because there's people out there that don't even know that we exist, don't even know that this is free information and how much we could help. I mean, we help people in states that there is no clinic to go to or there is no doctor to go to. You know, Jennifer is like our right hand, and she handles all of that over the phone. She tells you what to file. She tells you how to process it. She tells you how to set up.
You know, you can't even do a company like this without a Jennifer.
No,
you got to have Jennifer.
And
you couldn't do it.
She tells you how to get your papers to DOL if your supervisor won't do it. Yeah. So you can come to us for anything when you don't understand DOL, and this is why we do what we do. And we like to do the training, and we like to educate.
Yeah. So we're doing this. We take calls all the time, Facebook messages. Today, in the span of an hour, I got a phone call, 2 Facebook messages, and a text message, all from injured federal employees. And this is what we do. I mean, all day long. This is our job. We don't do other things. This is what we do. And very sincerely, and this is going to sound pretty cheesy, nobody loves you more than I do. And so that's why we do this. So, anyways.
That's true. Let's see.
Maybe your mother.
John Reverend said, you guys have went above and beyond. Salute. Aw.
Thanks, John.
See, this is why you're my BFF, John. Supervisor John.
Yeah, for real.
Let's see. Jennifer was amazing. Yeah, we hear
great.
That. She's we love her to death. She's a big part of our company.
She worked with me at the last company I was at where I learned all this stuff. She actually learned it faster than I did. And so when I left there, I had to catch up. But the very first chance I had, I hired Jennifer from there to work with us because she's just incredible.
Yeah.
You got to have more people that understand this stuff. There's not enough. There's never going to be enough. But thank God for her.
So with that said, everybody, we've answered all your questions on CA1s, CA2, CA2A. Don't forget to get a CA16. for every CA1 claim. And don't forget to get a CA17 for your CA1 and your CA2s. Don't forget to purchase the book if you haven't.
Yeah.
So get the book. Right here is the website, and if you need to call us. And Cheryl, I think you asked me how do you work Zoom? So you just set up a Zoom account.
It's free.
And it's free, and you put an invite on there and see who you want to invite, or if you have other people, stewards or other employees that want to get, like a personalized training from Chris, just please let me know and we could set that up. And we look forward to 2021 as it's sneaking up on us, to do more Zoom, Skype, and to continue traveling and to be in person with you guys.
John, I signed every book. In the beginning, I think I sent out like 5 books that weren't signed, and somebody sent it back with a postage paid envelope to tell me to sign it. So I signed them all now. I'm not famous. Those of you that want my autograph, I'm humbled by it, but I'm not famous. Even this Facebook Live thing was her idea. It wasn't even my idea.
Hey, John, I'm going to sign it too, just for you. I'm going to say, heart, Genie to John.
Yeah. Victoria wants to know how to contact us through Messenger.
Just go on this page after we're done. You just go into messages, just like your Facebook Messenger. It says Messenger, and just send us a message there.
Yeah, you can do it on the Wednesday night OWCP chats page.
John said that's funny. Yeah, I'm going to sign it too, John. And Leticia, you said, can you file for mileage even when you are denied?
No. You don't have any benefits until your claim's accepted. None. And that's why getting claims accepted is so important. If you look at my shirt, no more denied claims. It's been argued in my company that we should stop saying that because it may be misleading that no more denied claims. But I don't know what I would replace it with. Stop denied claims. That's our point. No more denied claims. Because when your claim's denied or not approved or not attempted, you don't have any benefits. And whereas, 1 out of 7 injured people, that's my number. I'm pretty sure it's close because I'm a numbers guy. 1 out of 7 injured people has an accepted claim nationwide every year. But for us, it's like 6 out of 7, 6.5 out of 7. And whatever something close to 95% of 7 is, it's our mission. Our mission is to stop these problems, to teach you how to fight for yourself, to stick up for yourself, to not get pushed around and bullied, and how to get your claim accepted, and for us to give you doctors that will do that for you. So it's a big job. It's a really big job. But no more denied claims. When your claim is denied, you don't have benefits, and that's terrible.
John said thanks. He's gonna get my signature. If anybody wants my signature, just let me know in the notes.
One of these days, she'll write a book, and she can sign that book.
No, I'm not writing a book. I'll probably make him write it.
It'll be like a picture book or one of those with blank pages where you draw your own pictures.
And write your own little story.
But it'll have a picture of a scarecrow on the front of it.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching us this week. If you have any more questions, you're welcome to message us privately or call or email Chris at federalinjurycenters.com, Jennifer at federalinjurycenters.com, or Gini, Gini, at federalinjurycenters.com. And, oh my God, John said LOL pop-up book.
I don't know. Pop-up book would be hard because you got to figure out how to make the pages pop up. So I don't know about that.
He said,
blank pages seem pretty easy.
John said, I'm an old school union president. I beat up the bullies. Love it.
John, I really like that about you. I got to be honest. I don't encourage violence.
Yeah.
But I like that about you.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, again, we're not 100% sure we're going to be on it next week.
I want to be, so we're going to try to make it happen. But
hey, maybe we can get Eric on.
No, that would be fun.
Yeah, we'll see because we're meeting with Eric next week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So
if Eric agrees to go live with us next week, well, I'm telling you in advance, if we have time and he goes live with us, it'll be about schedule awards because you all want it, and I'm going to sit back and take notes from my book.
Yeah.
So I'll let him answer all the questions with you.
Oh God, that's going to be hilarious.
And I'll sit and just take notes.
Yeah. Don't forget, so we have the book, $14.95, free shipping. Website's right there. Don't forget to find us on our app. You can also view us every Wednesday night too on the app. Don't forget to join us on Twitter at
Fed Injury Center.
There you
Not
go.
Federal Injury Centers. It's at Fed Injury Center.
And I'm also on Instagram, Federal Injury Center, or myself.
And on Twitter, we're
So-
almost up to 845
Yeah.
followers out of
So-
2.8 million. So we're inching up. We're millimetering up.
Oh my gosh.
We're not even inching up.
So don't forget to watch us every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
Yeah.
on our Facebook page, Wednesday night OWCP Chats. And coming next year, we're going to be doing a share giveaway. And at the end of the month, we're going to give away something really good.
Hey, and before we get off, hello to Nina from McKinney, Texas.
Hey, Nina.
Nina is one of the co-owners of a practice in McKinney, Texas that is a Federal Injury Centers franchise. So we're really happy that she's there. They're doing great work. They have, I heard today, been able to, in a very short period of time, already help 16 different cases, OWCP claims. So that's awesome. Tell your friends if you're in the North Texas area to go to McKinney, Texas, to Federal Injury Centers. You can find them on our website at federalinjurycenters.com. They're doing great work. Dr. Clark over there is awesome. The
Yeah.
patients love her very
She's
much.
so sweet.
And so I think you'll have a really good time also, and it's a first-class office, which is always nice. We don't accept second-class offices or third, so first class. And I like nice offices. They have a really good one.
Jerry said, darn, I should have asked for yours, Jeannie, my autograph. Yeah, you should have.
You know what? I'll get a piece of paper for you, Jerry. I'll have her sign it. I'll mail it over to you. I think I still have your mailing address.
John said, you guys are injury famous.
That's funny.
He's so goofy.
Hey, I also want to talk about the other offices real quick. It's not doing you any favors if you don't know about it. I posted this week, so go take a look at that. But we have another office in Memphis, Tennessee. This one's been frustrating to me because it's at this intersection of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And so there's a lot of reach there where people can get help. If you're going someplace else getting your claim denied, this is me in advance saying I told you so. We're in Memphis, Tennessee, okay? Give us a call. Go to federalinjurycenters.com and you can get Dr. Wooten's phone number off of there and call directly. But don't struggle with denied claims in Memphis, Tennessee. Don't struggle with denied claims in Little Rock. Don't struggle with denied claims in northern Mississippi. Don't struggle with denied claims unnecessarily. That's what we're here for. And we're expanding. And as we expand to different areas, I'll tell you about it. We're already here in Clearwater. We're in Birmingham or Bessemer, Alabama. Dr. Harper is just crushing it there.
Norwood.
Norwood and Quincy, Massachusetts. So, and a new office is coming online in Dallas, South Dallas, and Oak Cliff. They're just doing the training and stuff, so we can't send you there yet because I want them to be fully trained and experts.
Yeah.
But these offices are there. So just to recap, Dallas and McKinney, Texas. By the way, if you're in Oklahoma, you're like half an hour from our McKinney office, okay, depending on where in Oklahoma that you are. So you're also not out of luck. You can go to McKinney for that. And all the surrounding Collin County, Dallas County, you can get help there. Memphis, Tennessee, you got to do it. Okay, I don't care if you come from Nashville. It's better than a denied claim, so make the trip. And then, like I said, Massachusetts, Clearwater, and Alabama.
Yeah, and again, the last thing before we say goodbye and good night, don't forget, if you know of a doctor that is interested in becoming a part of our franchise that's humble, honest, loyal, and is willing to help you guys and deal with the massive amount of paperwork
And
that
puts
you guys
people
have.
before money.
Yes, it has to be caring about you guys, all the federal employees, versus caring about the money.
Yeah.
So if you find a doctor and we do sign, there is a commission up to $15,000.
Depends on the franchise fee that the doctor pays,
Right, and
which is
that-
a standard in franchising. There's McDonald's franchisees pay a franchise fee.
And that check gets signed by Chris.
Yeah. And
So-
Julia Elizabeth said Iowa. I'm so glad you said that, Julia Elizabeth, because just today I told our salesperson to focus on Iowa.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places. I want to have a doctor there, so we're working hard on that. And all of you in California, trust me, we know you're in a lot of pain there.
Yeah.
We're working on that too, and everywhere else.
So everybody, thank you again for watching. Don't forget, every Wednesday, support AFGE, Red for Feds. I forgot. I know. I always forget. Well, I thought I had something
Nope,
red.
no red.
No, it's pink for
That's orange.
pumpkins. So Red for
Orange,
Feds.
not pink. Pumpkins are orange.
I said red.
You said pink.
Red for Feds every Wednesday for AFGE. And we will see you guys again either next week or not.
Hopefully next week.
And if not, you guys have a good night.
And tell your friends.
Enjoy the rest of your week. And tell your friends about our page. And don't forget to share, like, and follow. Ding!
Adios. Good night.